Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the crime film, The Drop. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We post multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. The Chechen Mafia employs Bob Sajanowski's neighborhood pub in Brooklyn, managed by his cousin Marvin Stipler, as a drop for illicit funds. Bob is made fun of by Marv for remembering Richie Glory Days Whelan's unsolved disappearance on its 10th anniversary. Outside of Nadia's house, Bob discovers a pit bull puppy abandoned in a trash can. Together, they rescue the abused animal. Marv becomes upset when Bob informs NYPD Detective Torres that one of the two masked shooters who looted the pub was wearing a damaged watch. Torres wonders about Bob's resistance to receiving communion after recognizing him from church. Bob and Nadia become close after naming the puppy Rocco, and Nadia agrees to watch over Rocco while Bob is at work. Later, she admits that the scars on her neck were caused by self-inflicted drug withdrawal. Chavka, a gangster from Chechnya, threatens Marv and Bob for not returning his stolen money. Marv is shown to have planned the theft after meeting one of the criminals, Fitz, and a conversation with his sister Dottie shows his need to pay for their father's life support. The owner of Rocco approaches Bob and then shows up at his house with identification, but Bob refuses to give the tortured dog back. Marv becomes increasingly nervous, and he and Bob discover a sack outside the pub that appears to have been delivered by the Chechens and contains the stolen money as well as a severed arm with a broken watch. Marv tells Bob that the patron is Eric Deeds, who has long claimed responsibility for killing Richie Whelan, when the owner of Rocco's enters the establishment and seems to recognize Nadia. Torres questions Bob once more after he throws the arm away, and Bob then approaches Nadia. Later, when Deeds is shown to be her troubled ex-boyfriend, she acknowledges it, but Bob assures her that he doesn't care about the past. The Chechens inform Bob and Marv that the pub will be the drop place on the night of the Super Bowl as they receive their money back from them. On the night of the drop, Fitz declines to rob the bar once more, so Marv shoots him and hires Deeds in his place. Deeds confronts Bob and wants $10,000 and makes a threat to take back and kill Rocco. Bob cautions Marv not to act irrationally once more once he senses his plan. The day of the Super Bowl, Deeds decides to break into Nadia's house and coerce her into accompanying him to the pub while Bob takes cash from his basement and waits for him. Bob conceals his cash and gun at the bar, where he also accepts a steady stream of mob money throughout the evening. Marv waits beside the bar, which gradually becomes empty but for Deeds and a terrified Nadia who warns that Deeds is carrying a pistol, and lines the trunk of his car with plastic. Deeds declines Bob's $10,000 offer for Rocco and threatens Nadia with dire consequences if Bob does not unlock the time-lock safe. Bob explains that Marv was a loan shark who stole money from the Chechens years ago. Marv took advantage of the opportunity to use the customer's money to cover what he had taken from the Chechens, which prompted Bob to kill the man and dispose of the body in his basement. A customer with a sizable debt won a casino jackpot and paid Marv what he owed. Bob shoots Deeds to death after revealing that the man was Richie Whelan, allowing a horrified Nadia to flee. After having Marv shot dead in his car, Chavka appoints Bob the new owner of the tavern while the Chechens dispose of Deeds' body. Later, Detective Torres extends Bob's regrets for Marv's passing but isn't persuaded it was a botched carjacking. Torres questions Bob about Deeds, who vanished and was last seen at the same pub where Whelan had been. He learns that while Deeds claimed responsibility for Whelan's demise, he was actually in a mental hospital the night Whelan vanished. Bob is implied to be the cause of both disappearances by Torres, who says, "No one ever sees you coming, do they, Bob?" When Bob asks Nadia if he should stay away, she responds by inviting him to accompany Rocco on a stroll instead. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.